If you're wondering which budget phone to buy, chances are these 5 phones are on the top of your wish list. The Google Pixel 4a brings an incredible camera at a reasonable price. The iPhone SE is the cheapest iPhone you can get, and then the Galaxy A51 and the Galaxy A71 feature sleek design and gorgeous displays. And finally, the Moto G Power is the cheapest of the bunch, but comes with a ginormous 5000 mAh battery. So which one should you go for? In this comparison, we won't focus on the overall performance, we'll focus on comparing the battery life of these phones. We have them all lined up and fully charged at 100%, and starting with the Pixel 4a, you get a 3140 mAh battery, which is much bigger than the tiny battery cell inside the iPhone SE. It has only an 1821 mAh battery. The Galaxies both have bigger batteries than these two. 4000 mAh one on the A51 and a 4500 mAh battery on the Galaxy A71. Finally, the Moto G Power, as we mentioned, comes with a massive 5000 mAh battery, the biggest of them all. So what we start with is our web browsing battery test. In this test, all the phones load up a set of pages and scroll around them at the same pace. We have earlier set the brightness on all of these phones to the same level for an equal playing field. So what you see right now is a simulation of the test and not the actual test run that takes long hours. And fast forward as the test goes, the first phone to die on this test is the iPhone SE. It lasts 9 hours and 5 minutes. Not a great showing considering that this is our lightest test. So let's turn it around and fast forward again until the next phone dies. And that is the Google Pixel 4a, which lasts 20 minutes more than the iPhone with a final score of 9 hours and 27 minutes on the browsing test. The other 3 phones still have plenty of juice left, and we have to wait for a few hours until one of them dies. So again, fast forward to the next one, and it is the Galaxy A71, which bites the dust with a final score of 11 hours and 32 minutes. But just wait a little bit, just 3 minutes after it, the Galaxy A51 also dies, scoring 11 hours and 35 minutes. At this moment in time, the Moto G Power is still going strong. This cheap phone has a massive battery, and it wins this round easily. 15 hours and 54 minutes until it finally dies, the longest lasting phone that we have tested so far. Now if you don't push it, you can easily go 3 days between charges with this phone. Impressive stuff. And once again, here is a chart with the results for each phone in this test. Our next test is something everyone can associate with, watching YouTube videos. Watching videos puts a bigger strain on the battery than just browsing, and we're curious to see how the phones perform in this test. Again, we have all phones charged up and ready, and we kick this off by playing the same video playlist on all of the phones. And brightness is again set at an equal level for all of the phones. Again, we cannot show you the full test run, but instead you see an illustration run, so you know what the test looks like. Fast forward a few hours, and the first phone to bite the dust in this test is again the iPhone SE. No big surprise here. The iPhone with its tiny battery is just not a great device if you want to watch videos for a long time. It lasts only 4 hours and 45 minutes of YouTube video streaming. Not a great score at all. The rest of the phones still have a lot of juice left, and it's frustrating that the iPhone SE dies so early. Fast forward again, and the next one to die is the Google Pixel 4a, with a final score of 6 hours and 48 minutes. That's 2 full hours more than the iPhone. Now imagine the difference. But even more interestingly, the other 3 phones, however, still have plenty of juice left, so let's keep on going. And the next one that bites the dust is the Galaxy A51. The smaller Galaxy finishes this test with a score of 8 hours and 35 minutes, which is quite good. So once again, fast forward, and the next phone in the red and to bite the dust is the Moto G Power. It dies with a score of 8 hours and 55 minutes, nearly 9 hours of non-stop video playback. Very nice showing. But what's even better, however, is the Galaxy A71. Samsung has always had incredibly strong optimizations for video playback, and the A71 makes full use of that. This phone lasts on and on until it finally dies, with 11 hours and 38 minutes on the clock. What a score! You can watch a ton of YouTube videos, and the A71 is an absolute battery champ in this regard. Great showing! And once again, let's see all of the scores on our YouTube video streaming battery drain test in this chart. Finally, we have one for the gamers, our 3D gaming battery test. While the other two tests mostly stress the processor, this particular test puts the load on the GPU, the graphics chip inside the phone. So it is different and an important one, especially for the gamers. So again, we start with all the phones fully charged and we run the test until the battery is completely drained. And let's take a look at the results then. So let's fast things forward until the phones are drained, and the first phone to die is, drumroll, the Google Pixel 4a. For the first time, the iPhone SE actually is still not dead. Look at it. And the Pixel 4a finishes the test with a score of 4 hours and 51 minutes. It only takes a short while until the iPhone SE also dies, with the score of just 1 minute short of 5 hours. And just like on the other two tests, we see the rest of the phones still have a considerable amount of charge left. And we need to fast forward the video again until another one bites the dust. And that's the Galaxy A51 with a score of 6 hours and 40 minutes. Interestingly, the other two that are left still have plenty of juice left and don't plan on giving up anytime soon. Let's use the magic of the cinema to fast forward, and only until we reach 11 hours and 34 minutes, the Moto G Power finally dies. But look at it, the Galaxy A71 is still running and smashing through those pixels. Fast forward for one last time and it's finally dead. The A71 finishes this test with a score of 12 hours and 46 minutes, which is one of the best around. The larger size and the plastic build obviously allow heat to dissipate in a more effective way. And once again, take a look at this chart with all of the results, some big differences from all 5 phones. So it's time for conclusions. First and foremost, the iPhone SE with its tiny 1800 mAh battery was the absolute worst. Its battery just melts under pressure, and while the phone will last through a day with light use, it will definitely need to go to the charger much more often than the others. The Google Pixel 4a lasts quite a bit more in browsing and YouTube, and while it's still below the average, its battery life is actually decent and won't bother you as much as the iPhone SE. Finally, the Galaxy A51 is a phone with a battery life that won't let you down. It will last through even those longer days easily. But if you really want to go next level, you have to look at the winners. The bigger Galaxy A71 would just last on and on for video watching and gaming, and also the Moto G Power, which lasts an eternity with light use. And these are the conclusions from our battery tests. A small battery is a small battery, and you can't expect wonders out of it, and that's the big lesson here. So which one would you go for if you're looking for a budget phone? Are you ready to overlook a weaker battery for other advantages? Let us know in the comments. I appreciate you watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel here, PhoneArena. My name is Vic, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.